Hello, engineering fam. Welcome to another episode of Get on Code. So, this is going to be our first entry into data science. The subject is an episode about Python native data functions. So, these functions are going to become a lot more important and used a lot more consistently as we move through the data science course. Before we get started, go ahead and drop a like, share, subscribe. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's get into our Python storage methods. These are the native storage methods that are going to become more and more popular or more and more use as we go on with this data science portion of Get on Code. So as you can see on the screen, you see four different methods. You see a list, or I should say functions, list, a tuple, a set, and a dictionary. We're going to break each one of those down. Now, let's start off with the list. The list, of course, is a collection of objects or items of any data type. So you can have anything in there. As you can see, I have a string, I have an integer, I have a conditional statement, and another string. Now, right now, the good thing about a list is that a list is mutable. Mutable meaning that it can be changed after it's created. So as you can see right now, we have it at index 0, right? Now, let's print out the whole list, and it will print all the objects in the list. Okay, it says A, 2, true, and B. Now, if we want to index it, as we all know, or if you don't, I'm going to let you know, every index for a list starts with the 0 place. The 0 place is the first place in the list. So for this case, it will be an A. So it starts 0, 1, 2, and the B is in the 3 spot. So there's 4 different spots, but it does not start from 1. It starts from 0, right? So let's print the 0 element. You can see it's an A. Now, if I were to say, let's print the third element, it's actually going to print out B because that is the last one out there. Now, if I go outside that range and let's say I do a 4, it's going to give us an error because the list is the index outside of the range. The 4 spot will be if I added something here after B, right? So that's a list. Next, we have a tuple. And a tuple is a collection of objects or items of any data type. Thing about that's different from the tuple and the list is that a tuple is immutable, which means it cannot be changed. However, it does still support indexing. So same thing like a list. 0, the A is going to come out. Let's run that. And if we do 3, it's going to be B again. So the difference between the list and a tuple really is that a list can be changed after it's created, i.e. edited, and a tuple cannot. Now let's move on to a set. Now, the set is interesting because a set is like a mathematical set function. All right. So a Python set does not hold duplicate values and automatically arranges in ascending order. So this is what you would do if you wanted to have like a record base. Okay. And it does not support indexing. So I can try to index it like I did with a list or a tuple, and it's going to give me an error. Here you go. So a list is what it is when it's created. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, finally, my favorite, we have a dictionary. Now, dictionaries work very similar to real-world dictionaries. What they do is they use a key value pair, and like the real-world dictionary, each word has a definition. So what do I mean? All right, so you can see that the dictionary, like the set, is separated with curly brackets. Yes? But with the dictionary, you can actually create your own indexes. It doesn't just start with 0 like a list or a tuple. It starts with whatever index you want. So in this one, I created 1, 2, and 3. That's the index. The key is 1. The value is January. The key is 2. The value is 100,000. These are strings. The key is 3. The value is Florida. So let's take a look at it. Let's see what our first index value is. So number 1, we get January. Simple enough. Number 2, we get 100,000. Number 3, we get Florida. Now, let's say we want to start with a 0 like we did in our list or our tuple. Because remember, the list and the tuple start from 0. 0. So let's put 0 in our dictionary. Oops, doesn't work. I have not created a 0 key. Let's go back to that. 1. Now, let's say I did want to create a 0 key. I would simply just add another key value pair, call it 0, and I would say elevated engineering. Now, because I created that, it's now going to print up elevated engineering. And that's the beauty of dictionaries. With dictionaries, you can create your own value and your own key, and you can edit it as much as you want. And that's why I love dictionaries. So these are going to become much, much more important as we move on in this data science portion of Get On Code. Okay, so that's it for Python data functions. As we move through this data science course, we'll start performing more advanced data analyses using the native Python data functions. We'll use them with NumPy, Pandas, and other statistical and data visualization tools for Python. So stay tuned for the next chapter in this Get On Code series about Python and data science. Now, as usual, go make something cool.